Welcome to Two Psychics. This is Michael Edley, Evidential medium and mystic, discussing all things spiritual.
Hello, I'm Mary Amy of Two Psychics, an intuitive wisdom coach, tapping into your mystical life and sharing messages I receive about you.
What is up, everyone? Michael Edley here. Pleasure to be here with you for Two Psychics podcast. And I see my co-host, Mary Amy, logging on. Hello, what is up, Mary Amy? How are you?
How are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? You can see me this week, so that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, that was pretty incredible. You know, it was just around the time for Halloween, so you were the incredible invisible man. And I was reading this week all about cloaking, and it was the Philadelphia experiment, and they cloaked a ship, and it traveled from Philadelphia to Norwalk, Virginia, and it was gone for 20 minutes. It was 296 miles it traveled. It came back, and men were connected to the ship. Some of them went insane. They lost limbs, and it was some kind of experiment they did to make the ship invisible. So you were going invisible last week.
So I was, it's my light bending technology. The military does have light bending technology that they utilize for, for radar. If we look at, like the military, so a lot of the high tech planes can go under the radar. I hear they even have cloaking devices for some of the covert op, some of the, I guess, high end secret forces that are out there. There's technology. Am I here still?
No.
Did you lose me again? That is bizarre. My audio's here though. Oh no, what is that? Okay, so let me. You got to be kidding me! I wonder what that is.
I don't know.
But you can hear me. But you can hear me, but you can't see me. Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I hear my voice echoing, and I can remove that. I don't know what's going on with that.
Okay, so you're going to go solo for a moment. That is really weird. I don't know why that would be. Okay, I'm going to log off real quick, and I'm going to log back on, and hopefully I will reappear.
Okay, everyone. So here we are. I'm just going to see how it goes without him. So tonight is episode 73 of Two Psychics podcast. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Mary Amy, an intuitive wisdom coach. That's Michael Edley, an evidential medium. And we've been doing these podcasts since January 2024. Tonight, we're going to speak about realms, and we have a guest, Eric Vanderlaan, who's a ghost hunter. And we've had him on the show before. And he is the co-host of PARAFlixx streaming show, which is the Haunted Files. Okay, everyone. So I'm going to tell you all about what realms are. I guess Michael Edley is going to come and join us in a minute. I'm actually doing the show solo. I'm from New York. Anybody out there who's watched us knows this. Michael's from the Jersey Shore. We're two psychics from the East Coast. I do psychic events. We've done live events together. We're going to talk about realms tonight. And what are realms? I've spoken to you about having a near-death experience, and I was a child, and I connected to the angelic celestial realm, heaven, and I connected to angels, so I always had a peace within me. That is considered a realm. A realm is the existence of another reality, not earthly life, field, region, land, a parallel dimension, an interdimensional reality. Oh, I think he's coming in. Let's bring him on. I'm just speaking about realms.
I'm back, and
So
my
around
Wi-Fi router is showing all the bars. So hopefully someone's not trying to intercept our signal and take me off the air. I don't know.
what's going on, Michael? So
That was
I'm
very
speaking
bizarre.
about realms. So I just said it's the existence of another reality. It could be an interdimensional reality that influences humans, mystical, supernatural, spiritual, heavenly, spirit, the deceased humans, angelic, ethereal, underworld, fairy. So otherworldly realms are beyond the physical world. Other than this realm that we're in right here, this physical reality, it's not normal. It's not ordinary. Maybe you can connect to another realm through a portal where there's some powerful energy which offers guidance and wisdom. Otherworldly realms are spiritual, mystical, paranormal with higher awareness and higher consciousness. An other earthly spiritual realm is the opposite of possession and wealth and is more connected to spiritual beings, like Michael when he speaks to spirit. Would you like to share what it's like in the spirit realm, Michael?
Well, I think that's something that people tend to think it's like far away, or what I like to tell people is heaven is right here. It's right next to us. It's just another dimension. It's another frequency. It's not some far away place, but there's interconnected dimensions. And remember, everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. So that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with different dimensional realms, and that's really it. And the higher the vibration, the higher the realm. The lower the vibration, the closer it is to this this physical world, since we are in a very slow vibrating energy here. And that's the interesting thing. And I know we're going to be talking to our good friend Eric, is coming on in a little bit, and dealing with the paranormal. We're dealing with stuff that's, I think, in that lower vibrating realm that's here, so that's intermixing between this low vibration. And I think some of it can probably blend between dimensions, but it's a interesting thing. And then what I always like to explain to people is when we go into the higher vibrating realms, there's many levels. It's not just like, it's here in the physical, and then you jump over and there's one interdimensional realm. There's multiple dimensions. So in the higher vibration, I would say the more light and love there is in that. And I think if we look at things in energy and vibration and frequency, if we're looking at low vibrating stuff, low vibrating energy, that's pain. And, if we're looking at, like the more negative, pain, like the corruption of energies, is just a lower frequency vibration. When we get into love and joy and happiness, it transcends up. And I like looking at things as, an optimal state. I think for most humans, if you can get into that higher vibration, is a 500, it's a 500 hertz register. And that's where they say you start opening like the heart chakra. And that's where joy and happiness will start to manifest into your life. When you're dealing with pain and sorrow and sadness and grief and, all the low vibrating stuff, it tends to pull our energy down. And we really have to consciously work to raise our vibration and raise our energy. And we can do that through, many different mindfulness practices, whether it's meditation, music, even, physical exercise, being out in nature, cleansing, going through your whatever your prayer or your ritual is to try to balance and ground your chakra system, cleanse your auric field. That stuff will slowly raise your energy. And what happens is you do it on a daily, basically incorporate it into your daily routine, and you start building your energetic vibration. And it's harder and harder for your vibration to lower, and you may have a bad moment or, a bad couple hours, but it's not going to debilitate you and bring you down into that, sub 100 vibration, and that's not where we want to be. So I think mindfulness and approaching your day, not kind of tying into the news, not tying into all the rhetoric that's going on in our society, that, the negative headlines and everything that wants to sensationalize that negative and pull your energy into that. We have to be really mindful to have a conscious practice to not be pulled into that. So I tell everyone, don't turn on the news first thing. Don't jump on your phone and look in your feed. And I know I have a sometimes I wake up and I want to go through and see if I have any comments on my Eye of the Spirits page or, emails. But the important thing is to ground and check your energy first, so you're showing up in the best way.
Well, Eric, who's coming on in a few minutes, we had a couple of comments from Kevin Haggerty. Looks great. Mike's gone. Feedback loud. Oh, feedback. Oh, that was before. Looks great. And then Eric wrote, I hug a tree.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, so the funny thing is, I have a relationship with many of the trees and the shrubs and the plants in my yard. And I tell you, without a shadow of a doubt, they will communicate with us. And it sounds kind of crazy for someone that hasn't done it, or a tree hugger, that's going, what is this? What's going on? Why am I so attached and drawn to this tree? Well, they have an energy. They have a higher vibrating energy that will dissipate negative energies in the human auric field. So being in nature, hearing the birds chirp, that sound, that auditory sound, will also help cleanse your auric field. But the funny thing is, trees actually have a high vibrating cleansing energy, and they will help cleanse your auric field. And I think that's why so many people just feel at peace and, more, I would say, more released from their body when they're in nature. And then, we also have the sounds of the ocean, and, many different ways we can get there. The auditory, look at the auditory way of the birds chirping, or the sounds of the waves, or just connecting and blending your energy into something that's high vibrating and can kind of cleanse and balance your auric field.
Well, we're
many
getting
ways
some
you can
more
do
comments. We're getting comments.
That we're tree huggers.
Benno from Oz 1975 said, I hate the news, all fake, all biased. Eric says, that's my high vibration when he's hugging a tree. Benna says, trees rule. And then Eric says it has to be a very tall tree. So for me, I always will stand barefoot on the roots of a tree and put my hands, and it grounds me, and I receive guidance, and it's very healing. I feel very grounded. I feel more full of energy.
Please don't tell me that took my video out. Did that take my video out again?
Yeah, how did that happen? Oh, now you're back.
What is? I'm back. Okay, so my audio. I'm here, right? Audio. And
video? You're here and you're clear now. Before you were blurry, so it's working. Oh, you're gone again. Oh my goodness gracious.
What is going on?
That dirt. He's right. Yeah, so I wanted to ask you a question, but you'll be back in a minute. All right, so he's gone. I'm going to ask him when he returns about what it feels like to be in the spirit realm. So I see the angelic celestial realm in my third eye, and for guidance, they actually come to me. It's like I'm getting tapped or getting whispered in my ear. And I think he's coming back. Here he is.
That was bizarre. I don't know what is going on.
So I'm going to ask you, because I'm talking about what it's like for me when I connect to the angelic realm. It's very peaceful, very calming. When I have seen angels, Archangel Michael, it was so intense and powerful. It's not like anything I ever felt. You're gone again. You're gone again. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. I'm gonna try something different.
It's very strange. Well, I'm gonna ask him when he comes back. Are you still there?
Am I here? Am I here?
I can't see you, but I can hear you. It's like we're doing radio all over again on Blog Talk. Remember when we did Blog Talk? Anyone out there, if you want to watch or listen to us, we're on Spreaker, Spotify, Apple, and now we're doing video.
All right. It's going to be you for a moment, and then I'm going to log back on and see what's going on. I got to pull off my Wi-Fi and see if it's something. I don't know.
I'm going to do a little intro for Eric, so when he comes on, it's done. everyone out there, we have a guest coming on in a few moments, and hopefully we're not going to have a problem. Hopefully we're not going to have a problem, and Michael will stay on. So Eric Vanderlaan is a ghost hunter. I met him maybe 5 years ago, and he is from South Florida. And since the age of 8, he's been investigating the paranormal. No. He's been in South Florida since the age of 8, and he's been investigating the paranormal for 10 years. He has been interested in the paranormal starting on a ghost tour when he caught odd anomalies that he could not explain. He has been a member of a paranormal team. He's gone to haunted locations, and he's operated ghosting events. Right now, currently, you can watch him and his co-host Mike on this channel, PARAFlixx. You can Google that. You can look it up. It's a streaming channel, and it's all these paranormal shows. They are paranormal investigators, and they visit some of the most haunted locations and document real paranormal findings. And their show is called The Haunted Files. It's very, very cool. So Eric and Mike put their experience and knowledge to the ultimate test, documenting the paranormal finding that they encounter. You're gone again. And using the most advanced paranormal equipment available, new innovative tests, experiments, and techniques. They're known for hosting public ghost hunting events and conducting residential cases, even hosting the teams. They have a radio show. Okay, so when Michael returns, I'm going to ask him what it feels like when he connects to the spirit realm. What is that like? Wait, you know what? There's so many versions of him. Let me delete this. Kick from the studio. Okay, let's get this guy on. There you are. Okay, don't move.
No.
Don't move at all. Okay, what I would like to ask you, I did present Eric because I want us to be prepared for when he comes on. I want to get much out of it as we can, because we don't know how long you're sticking around, and now you're gone again.
Audio. Can you see me?
No.
You can't see me?
Nope.
So question for you. But I know you changed some settings on your end when we were having like feedback and stuff. Is there anything that would be cutting me off? Like a noise suppression or any like?
Not that I know of. I only changed speaker and audio.
Nothing for video, but so you can't see me, huh?
No.
I may be the the voice from the clouds. Wow, that's so weird. Because my video on my end is showing up. I don't know why that's cutting out.
I don't think you're showing up otherwise. Let me look online. But while you're there, I'm not going to talk because if there's feedback when I talk, when you're like that, for some reason, when you're not invisible, are you gone now?
Nope, I'm here. I just muted for a second because I had.
Well, I wanted to ask you, what is it like when you connect to the spirit realm? What does it feel like to you? What does it look like for those who are listening? I'm going to shut off my.
Okay, so when I connect to the spirit realm, I always sense almost like pins and needles throughout my body. And I go into almost a dreamlike state. So I'm aware of what's going on around me, but I go into like a semi-trance. So like a very lucid, almost like light hypnosis, it would feel like. I think that's the easiest way to explain it. And the more I connect and the more deeper I go into that, like the longer I'm doing the reading, the deeper into a trance I'm going.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, I wondered about that actually. I mean, you're still invisible.
I'm still invisible. All right. That is so weird. I don't know why that is happening. Oh man. All right. Let me, so we have Eric coming on in a couple of minutes. So what we'll do is let me log off. I'm going to log back on, and worst case scenario, once Eric comes on, if it bumps me out on video, we'll be watching you two and you'll hear me.
Okay.
So let me see what I got going on here.
Okay, so hopefully it's going to work because Eric's going to be coming on in 9 minutes. Everyone out there, whoever's listening or viewing us, you can put a comment in the chat on Facebook. I cannot see. I believe it's the same comments on the YouTube, but if it's not, I apologize. Can you see the comments that we have right now? So Jessica, I think, is a friend of Michael Edley. I don't know what's happening here. Has anyone out there had any experiences with realms? Because that's the conversation we're having tonight. And then we're going to get into the paranormal. And I'd love you to write a comment if you're interested in getting some kind of reading or ask a question to Eric. Now, upcoming guests that we have coming up in the next few weeks, I'm going to tell you right now. So we have Dr. Michelle Adams, who's the doctor of pharmacy. She's a certified electromolecular practitioner. She's a natural health coach. She's a bioenergetic practitioner and owner of Quantum Healing and Wellness Center. Jack Roth, the author and film producer and screenwriter. And Kelly Wagner, we have psychic medium of Edge Magazine. Okay, let me add him and see how it goes.
Hello, hello. Am I back? My video is back. This is so bizarre. I don't know. Very bizarre. Very bizarre. So, okay. Exciting. What are we talking about?
I was just talking about who we have upcoming and okay, so let's talk about what's been going on with us till he joins us. For me, the last few days, I don't know if it was the full moon, but I had some crazy sleep patterns that were disrupted. I normally have no problem falling asleep, sleeping. I couldn't fall asleep for hours and hours. Every night I'm having vivid dreams. We spoke about this before we came on. I was exhausted today because it's 3 days of this. I don't know what's happening. I also felt like I was getting extraterrestrial downloads, some kind of light codes coming into my system. That is very, actually feels good when that happens, but the non-sleep doesn't. How's your sleep been this week?
Yeah, my sleep's been all over the place. You know, I had a very interesting experience last night. So this was so vivid and so realistic. I was on some underwater observatory and I was, you know, watching crazy scientific experiments occur and different things. It was almost like I was having a dreamlike remote viewing session. So very interesting. I don't know if I'm going into some past life regressions in my dreamlike states. I don't know if I'm just having these really vivid, futuristic, scientific, you know, dreams. You know, it's very, very bizarre, but they're very realistic. It's like I'm there, I'm in them. And there's been multiple times where I woke up and I was like, oh, thank God I am not in that dream. Thank God that was a dream. You know, it's so realistic. So, and you know, when I was a lot younger, I used to do a lot of remote viewing. I used to do a lot of outer body experience, and I had some really wild occurrences. And you know, I hadn't really dabbled in those practices in quite some time. And I don't know, I think I might have to start exploring that again. And it's funny because I had a group reach out to me that wants me to help them with some remote viewing projects they're going to be doing. And I was like, you know what, I haven't done that in quite some time. But remote viewing, it's all psychic energy. You know, that's what you're dealing with. And I'm like, you know, is it my body, my soul kind of trying to draw me back into those things, telling me, okay, you need to get back to that. You need to experiment with those again and start practicing that again. You know, and it's just that, you know, another modality of dealing with psychic energy. And it's like, you know, very similar to doing a psychic read, but you're just utilizing other tools. So yeah, so that might be on my 26 agenda, you know, a nice interesting remote viewing project. So
I've
yeah.
had these couple of dreams. I mean, if someone has a really long question, I'm going to ask you that. Just let me tell you. So I've had these dreams that it seems like they're very vivid. I'm either solving my problems through other characters because It resembles my life, but it's not me. And or it's someone showing me. It's very strange. Like it's, I think, a representation of me, but it's not me. I mean, some things, pregnancy, another version of me. One is good, one is bad. It's like so bizarre.
Did it cut me out
The
again?
last couple nights.
Did it cut me out again? Okay, so it's just my audio. All right. Let me, I'm just going to talk a little bit on this and then I'll try to log off and log back on. I don't know what is going on with that, but dreamlike state can be very, very powerful because, you know, you can tap into subconscious awareness. You can tap into information, objective information that you may not be looking at in a certain way in your waking moments. So I tell everyone, and I know you talk about this a lot too, is, you know, journal what you, when you wake up, journal what you were dreaming about, you know, track your dreams, because your body or your mind or your subconscious or your soul will communicate with you through a dreamlike state if you're not getting that message in your waking state. And I say spirit will come in too. Our loved ones, a lot of times people ask me about dreams they've had with a recently deceased loved one, you know, or a pet. And I absolutely have to say they will find that opportunity to drop in your dreamlike state because the mind is functioning in a different frequency. And it makes us more open and aware to some of those realms. So yeah, I would absolutely start journaling what you're, you know, what you're dealing with, or, you know, what answers are coming to you in that dreamlike state. So I'll let you talk a little bit about that again. I'm going to drop back off for a second. I'm going to try to log back on. And then once we get Eric on, if my video cuts out, then I'll just stay on audio.
I have a question when you come back.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the question. By the way, I do journal. I wrote a dream journal, so I definitely write down my dreams. So Jessica has a random question. She says, I was watching a movie last night, and at the end, a ghost who went to the other side after being stuck left in gold shimmering glitter. And when I was younger, I remember seeing a gold glitter shimmer circle the room around me and go out the window. And I think about it once in a while, but I never connected it with anything since then. Watching a random movie, is that a thing? It's probably you're backtracking to a memory you had, so it came forward. That's interesting. Okay, I'm going to just read to you. So Jessica wrote, I have a random question. I was watching a movie last night, and at the end, a ghost went to the other side after being stuck left in a gold shimmering glitter. And when she was younger, she remembers seeing a gold glitter shimmer circle the room around me and went to the window. And she thinks about it once in a while, but has never connected with anything since last night. And watching this random movie on Netflix, is this a thing? That's pretty interesting.
So give me that one more time. It was a gold shimmering circle, or what was that?
Yeah, circle, a gold shimmer. She was stuck left. She went to the other side after being stuck in a gold shimmering glitter. And when she was younger, she remembers seeing a gold glitter shimmer circle around her.
Okay, so that was a dream. So that was a dream she had. So she saw the gold circling glitter. We'll call it an orb, just for just for conversation. Yeah. But she had a dream that she was in that.
Actually, it wasn't even a dream. She was watching a movie, and at the end, a ghost who went to the other side after being stuck. Oh, in the movie, they were stuck in. Oh, it was real life. I can't keep up. A movie last night after being stuck in the left. So in the movie, no dream. Okay.
Okay, so I'll just I'm not totally following all the questions, and unfortunately,
I have a random question. I was watching a movie last night, and at the end, a ghost who went to the other side after being stuck left in a gold shimmering glitter. And when she was younger, she remembers seeing a gold glitter shimmer circle in the room around her. So I
Yeah,
guess she's asking if that's related to the
the gold
spirit.
shimmer. Yeah. So I can tell you there's been multiple times. So multiple times throughout my life, I've actually seen spirit manifest. I've seen certain pets of mine that had crossed over manifest. And the interesting thing is, before I was able to see them, and they almost come back in like a translucent, semi-visible form. It's them. You're seeing them, but you can actually see through them. You know, it's semi-translucent. But before that occurred, I saw like a shimmery, sparkly, kind of orb-like substance, you know, and yeah, so that could absolutely be energy manifesting. So it could interdimensional energy manifesting. So, and you may see certain things like that. And, you know, I remember as a small child, I saw more of that. And I think because I wasn't completely aware of what was going on, now, you know, when I have something like that, I'll sense them almost immediately. And I don't think it's like a surprising shock when it's a whole different, you know, it's a whole different gambit of techniques now and understanding. But there's still moments where I'll have some kind of visual disturbance happen, or a lot of times when I was exploring older properties, you know, early on when I would go do, you know, house cleansings, or people would call me in to see if there was a ghost or a haunting, or was there some type of earthbound spirit in their property. You know, you'll see some different energy rifts around that type of stuff. And I'm sure Eric can probably talk a little bit
He's
about
here.
that too. Different things. Yeah, different things he may have seen on some of his paranormal ventures. So Eric, what is up? How are you?
Hi.
We figured
How are
we're just
you?
gonna bring you right into this conversation, because I'm sure you probably can talk a little bit about this also. So we have one of our callers here is asking about like a gold shimmery orb-like kind of a visual disturbance that occurred. You know, she saw that in the paranormal realm. You know, as a medium, I've seen experiences like that before. I've connected to spirit, or I've seen someone, you know, visualize in my space. Have you had any experiences like that?
We can't hear you. Unmute Mike. Can't unmute your guest because he has to unmute it himself. Hello? He's muted. Okay, we can't see you, and he's muted. He says, "Hold on." That's okay. He'll figure it out.
But you are able to see me right now, right? You can see me and hear me, right?
Why is it? He's got to undo it himself. It says can't unmute your guest because they chose to mute it. It's okay. He'll figure it out.
It's the two psychics electrical interference going on.
Oh,
you know, I
gosh.
keep on getting zapped out of the screen.
He'll figure it out. So before we did have someone else say a comment. Benna says, I often affect electronics too.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what's going on here, but I don't know why this happens to us now.
All right, I'm not the lone
He's
man.
gone.
Out,
he's coming back.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's par for the course, right?
Right. It's all good.
No, but
I mean,
visual disturbances. Yeah, and now think about, a lot of people talk about their animals seeing things in their environment. Now, dogs have a much broader range of the visual spectrum, you know, so they'll see infrared, they'll see, you know, different range that the human eye can't see. So I think part of that is, you know, maybe out of the corner of our eye, or sometimes in a different heightened state of awareness, or when we're just in a restful state and we're not trying to manifest that, we may just pick up on those things and we may see. But I've seen what Jessica talks about, that shimmery gold kind of whitish outline. I've seen that before. I've seen spirit manifest into, you know, the environment that I was in. So that could definitely happen. And it's funny because, you know, a lot of times we talk about the movies in Hollywood sensationalize certain things, but a lot of times they're talking and discussing or showing things in a certain way because there's some truth to it, you know? So seeing that in a movie doesn't necessarily mean it's all fake, but, you know, and they're probably taking that from some type of reference, you know, material when they interviewed psychics or mediums or paranormal investigators or people that have had these experiences. And that's how Hollywood gets a lot of their information initially. You know, they'll interview many people in that field, and then, you know, they may misconstrue or magnify it or really sensationalize it. But a lot of that, what we're seeing, there's a basis of that in reality.
So when I was speaking about realms, there's the higher vibrational realms, which the spirit realm, the angelic realm, the fairy realm, you know, different mystical realms, and then there's the underworld realms too. There's the dark sides of things.
Yeah.
But I have to say, the more that you go to speak of, prayer, spend time in nature, we're getting a lot of comments. You will not connect to the dark side. You will only be lifting yourself up to positivity.
Yeah, you can work with your energy to a point where you're not going to be exposed to that. And, you know, a lot of people, if they're dabbling or not sure, you know, what they're doing, or, you know, like you always hear the story of the kids that start dabbling with a Ouija board. You know, they find it in the older siblings' closet, or, you know, they pick it up at a yard sale, or, you know, somehow they come across this thing and they start dabbling. Well,
yes.
You know, I think in those instances where we're curious, we don't really understand how to protect ourselves, maybe we're naive about certain things, and, you know, we kind of open our energy to that, you know, so that it's important to be very mindful and understand that, you know, where there's light, there's dark. You know, we do live in this physical world where, you know, this earthly existence has, you know, all of the light and all of the dark realm kind of intertwined within it. So if we're not mindful in protecting our energy, if we're doing unknown practices that we're not aware of the side effects that can occur with doing that, yeah, we can open ourselves up to a lot of stuff.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. So we can see me, we can hear and see you.
Well,
so we're all good now. This
hi,
is good.
how are you?
How are you,
good.
Eric?
Well, I haven't used StreamYard in a while, and for my real job, I work from home, so I have a dialer that's set to my headset, and it was set up to that. That's why you can hear the mic. So I had to log off everything and restart my computer. So
no problem. No problem.
At least I know for my my relaunching of my show next week. So good thing I got that in time. Too bad I hadn't tested on you guys. I'm sorry.
No,
Well, that's all right, because my audio's been cutting, my audio and video have been cutting in and out the whole show. So it's all good. It's par for the course here on Two Psychics. You know, we affect energy in that way.
Yeah, we got energy running loose all over the place.
How have you been?
So
tell us about your new show coming up.
So yeah, so I left More Party Paranormal. I've been with them for like 10 years and decided to focus just on the filming and my events that I do. So I had to change my radio show from the War Party Paranormal radio show to a new name. So why not the Haunted Files Unplugged radio show? So there you go.
Fantastic.
Yep. Nice. And we're gonna have an amazing guest. We're gonna have Father Bob Bailey. He works with Nesper, and they do the Devil on the Run tour with Annabelle the doll. So I got to meet Annabelle in person.
Oh no!
I'm safe, I think.
You're safe.
Oh no! I had an issue last time when someone spoke about that thing, and then I was like, it was attached to me for 24 hours.
I had Father Bob protecting me, so I was good.
Oh my gosh!
But it's weird. Something, you know, I was listening a little bit to you guys' show before I came on, and we were talking about, you know, how you two like sense things, like, you know, visuals or things like that, whatever your gift is.
He's gone. You're gone, Mike.
Oh man, am I here or I'm not?
So what happened? That's what happens when I start
I'm
talking
invisible.
about ghosts.
All right. So I'm gonna stay here for a moment. I'm just gonna let's see. I'm a white. Yes, I'm a white circle. Right, Mary Amy, we were just talking about white golden circles, mysteriously appearing. So just so you can hear my audio, I'll log out in a minute and I'll jump back on so we can get my video again. But Eric, can you talk a little bit about some of the ways you've seen different spirits manifest in some of the environments you've been in? Mary, if you can just share with Eric what one of our listeners had posed that question to him, what they had seen, and I'm curious to know if Eric has ever seen or come across anything like that.
Well, this girl, Jessica, who wrote comments, had seen in a movie this gold circle, and then in real life, she actually had seen this gold circle and a ghost, and she wanted to know if that was some kind of common denominator or other people have had those experiences.
A gold circle, like as a light, like with her own eyes.
In the room that she was in person, she saw a ghost, but in this movie there was also a gold circle.
So it was a full-bodied apparition with a gold circle in it.
I'm guessing, it's on here. I don't know. I think it's basically, is that?
Oh, wait, I see it. It says ghost left and gold in movie, but I saw gold in real life.
She said just gold shimmer, not circle. Okay, so in real life, she saw the gold shimmer, but not a circle.
Well, the things that I've seen with my own eyes, I've seen like light orbs, which is a ball of light. I've seen shadow figures. I've seen pretty much shadow figures, orbs of light. I've seen orbs of light twice. Most recently, I want to say it was sometime early this year. We were at a cemetery and my girlfriend and I were just, we had equipment set up and we're sitting on the bench. And I would say like about 30 yards away from me, on top of a gravestone, there was a ball of light. It was yellow and it was just floating there. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And she saw it too. And I'm thinking, well, maybe it's something that's reflecting, or they have like this cemetery is very eclectic. They have like those solar lights all over the place. So I'm thinking maybe it's a solar light. So I'm like, I'm going to walk up to it. So I start walking slowly and it's still there. And then once I got like about 10 feet, poof, it was gone. It just dissipated. It was just it was the oddest thing I've ever seen. And then the other time was, I don't know, maybe this was like over 10 years ago. I was at the Cape Florida Lighthouse, which is in Miami, Florida. It's the oldest lighthouse in Florida. And the lighthouse, the history behind that lighthouse is during the Seminole Indian Wars, the Seminole Indians attacked the lighthouse keeper and his helper died. But they had to run in to the lighthouse. And back then they had wooden stairs. And what he did was he took one of those big jugs, I guess, of like the kerosene or the oil that lights the light. So they go up to the top and they barricaded the door and they're getting shot at. So he decided that his only way to save himself is to burn those wooden stairs and threw the jug of oil, because they lit the place on fire, and he threw it and there's a big explosion and that chased them away. But he was all burnt up, and long story short, there was a schooner. This is like in the late 1800s. A schooner out in the ocean saw the explosion and was able to rescue him. But we were in the keeper's house. Well, I was in the keeper's house and I was going up the stairs, and I was like halfway up the stairs to the point where like my chest was at the second level. And I could see in the two rooms upstairs, like at the entrance to go into each room, one to the right, one to the left. And the one on the left, I saw a blue orb, and then it just poof, it was gone. and I thought it was maybe a reflection on my glasses or something.
Mhm.
And I went to go like get my glasses off, but I didn't have my glasses on, so I saw it with my own eyes. So that was pretty odd. But the thing I mostly get is like, the feels, and I actually had something happen to me last week that I've never experienced before. But
What happened?
well, September and October is very crazy for me. That's spooky season. So I was doing events at one location called the Deering Estate. It's considered the most haunted location in Miami. It's a beautiful location. Talk about high frequency. You feel that there. And I also like feel spiritually connected to that location. Um it's like I went to high school down the street. I was raised down the street from there. When I was in high school, like before it was a museum and it was owned by the family, we were like on the side where there's this boat ramp drinking beer. I was wondering, like, what's on the other side of that wall? All we knew was like, there was an old lady, crazy old lady that would shoot you. But anyway, I've been doing a lot of events there. Like, wow, I think I did like just over I think 20 events in 2 months. That one there at the Deering Estate. So the final event that we did was for these executives from Miami-Dade County, because Parks and Recreation, because they're the ones that run that location and many other locations in Miami. And it was just weird. It was like I wasn't getting anything. Like, it was like before that, it was crazy. I was getting EVPs. I was intelligent ones, like on my recorder, electronic voice phenomenon, asking questions, getting clear, intelligent responses back, getting it on like my spirit box. I even got touched a few times, twice in 2 different nights. I had my sleeve tugged, like someone was trying to get my attention. And I'm like, holy crap. And I had my head tapped, but nothing bad. So this last night, I'm not getting anything, nothing on the recorders. I had 3 spirit boxes in different rooms, and a spirit box is basically a transistor radio that sweeps to the stations automatically. And they say that spirits can communicate through the white noise. And every now and then you'll get stuff like that comes through the radio stations, and not even that was coming through. Nothing vocal. It was just noise, white noise, nothing, and then nothing was going on. So we go upstairs, and all of a sudden, I just wasn't feeling good. I was feeling nauseous, and my stomach was feeling sick. And then all of a sudden, I was like breaking out like in cold sweats, and I'm like wiping my sweat and like just trying to keep my composure and do this event. And then after we finished, Amina, she's one of my team members. She was with me, and she's like, "Eric, you're like a ghost. You're like completely pale white." And it was just weird. And as soon as I went downstairs, I started feeling better. So after we wrapped up the event, I had to go back upstairs and collect all my equipment. And all of a sudden, I started feeling nauseous and just started sweating. And I don't know. I've never felt like that before. It's just really odd. I know that the building is called, because there's several buildings there on the property, and the one that we were investigating is called the Richmond Cottage. It was built in 1896, and it was home to the Richmonds, and then they turned it into an inn. And the only way to get to it is by boat. So back then, I mean, you don't know who went in and out of that building, but I know. So there's 3 levels, and I was on the second level, and they don't allow anybody up in the third level, which is a darker level. People have been choked up there, and it's probably the most active, but we can't go in there because they're offices now.
Oh,
So it was just really weird that I experienced that, because I've been investigating, like like that bio you read was like about 5 years old. So actually about almost 15 years professionally. And
Oh
I've
my goodness.
never, ever gotten sick or felt anything like that. It was just really odd.
Wow. So there's offices in that space now, huh?
Hmm.
And
I
any
mean, and
stories from your
stuff still.
workers?
No, oh yeah, all the workers have stories. Nothing bad has happened to them, but like things moving around, like in different, like them leaving and then coming back and something in a different location. Um, the guy that runs the all the events that involves like kayaking in the outdoors, and they do a lot of nature stuff there. He runs that division of it. So his wife has an office up there. But man, like when we used to investigate that place up there, I mean, crazy things would happen. I remember like there was a loud bang on the roof. It's like 3 a.m. and there's no trees. There's nothing above it. I thought maybe it might have been something falling from a tree, and there's no trees around it that could have made that sound. It was loud. It was like almost like something heavy, like someone dropped like maybe a bowling ball like on top of the roof or something. It was just a loud bang. We all like jumped. It was just wild. But yeah, that's my favorite
That's good.
location. I feel like I'm spiritually tied to it. And it dates back to prehistoric times. They've had the University of Miami go out there and do archaeological digs, and they found a woolly mammoth, saber-toothed tiger. They found prehistoric. There's a prehistoric burial mound, and the bodies on the mound are buried like in a circular position pattern, like going around the mound.
Mm.
And you got that there. They found two little girls like date back to prehistoric, buried on the other side of the property. Back when the Tequesta Indians used to live there, they called it big hunting grounds because it was a big area. It was an area where they, did a lot of gaming there back in those days. So, like
A
after,
lot of energetic history there.
yeah, and it's interesting the spirits that we have there. Like, I don't think like I don't know, like I'm not third. I was talking about the third floor, and that was the darkest because the only reason why I say that is there's one room that were bad things happened to several people. We had a shaman there that got choked, and she had to walk
Mm.
out of the house. But that was like 10 years ago, and nothing's really happened since. But I always thought for me, like it was just like the spirits that were there were nothing bad. It was just good memories.
Mm.
After the Richmonds left the property because I don't know if you know who Henry Flagler is. He built the train, the railroad going all the way down to Key West, and they all thought he was going to build it along the coast when he was building it towards Key West, but he built it more inland than that found abandoned. So in the in 1920s, Charles Deering, an art Mongol, and also big into like horticultural, like tropical plants and things like that. He bought the property and ended up building the stone mansion, which we didn't investigate that building because that place is super active. But he actually, when they finished building it a few years later, he died like right there. And the view from the mansion is the most incredible view you'll ever see in your life. I mean, people go there to do sunrise photography. That's how amazing it is.
He just keeps coming and going.
I'm disappearing and reappearing.
Oh my
So
gosh. We'll have to practice
Are
other
you
times so that
are
we
you
don't have
doing it? Are you doing it through your phone?
I am on my phone right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
maybe you have to do it through a computer.
yeah,
Mary
the
Amy, are
office
you
right
on the
now is being.
phone?
I'm on my computer.
She's
Yeah,
on her
I
that's what
see
computer.
it is.
everything that's going
Yeah.
on. I couldn't do it on a
Yeah,
phone.
yeah,
I have the
because
office in renovation right now, so unfortunately, the phone is my only option for the next
I
couple weeks.
got
But
you.
I'm gonna
But that's definitely what it is, because you have to be on.
So am I gone? Is my audio here?
Your audio is okay.
Okay, so I'm just gonna hang on with my audio. I'm gonna be a white circle for a little bit. That way I can kind of hear, and that's fine. You don't need to see me. You can just hear me for right now. I'll jump back on in a minute, but yeah. So I definitely think I might be streaming next episode with a mess of renovation behind me in my office.
You know what? You're probably on your Wi-Fi. If you have any other Wi-Fi, any devices with a Wi-Fi on your home, like if you shut them off, that might help.
Yeah. Okay. And I wonder, because I'm streaming to my Eye of the Spirits Facebook page too, so that might be putting a strain on it. I don't know. That's all right. I'll stay audio for right now, and then I'll log off in a minute. But so Eric,
That's my girlfriend.
We have a comment right here. Hello, everybody. Doing amazing, Eric. Eric Vanderlaan. How do you say your name so I say it right?
You said it perfectly
Okay.
right.
Great show so far. Heart. Peace or love, clapping, heart. There you go. Francesca.
That's Franny. That's my girl. That's my partner in crime. That's my other partner in crime. That's my girlfriend.
That's nice.
So can you talk a little bit about the new journey that you're on now? What's in store for the Haunted Files?
Oh, we're gonna have an amazing season 4 that's coming out. We're already filming it. It's gonna start in January, the beginning of January, and we're gonna have some well-known guests on our show. So we're very excited about it. Yeah, so it's gonna be great. I mean, I'm gonna spill the beans a little bit because I'm so excited about it. Mike's probably gonna get mad at me, but if you're familiar, if you know who Patty Negree is, the Good Witch from Ghosthunters, she's gonna be in one of our episodes. We already filmed it. Yeah. Oh, that was another thing. Patty Negree. Oh my God! So you're gonna have to watch that episode because, well, I think Mike cut it out, but it got emotional. We did a seance. So that was pretty wild. And I will just leave it at that. So I don't want to give it away.
Leave the cliffhanger for us.
Yeah.
You could see me again.
I'll put a little teaser in there. There you go.
That's cool. So are you going to kind of keep things the same, or do you have is there going to be like a new format that you're utilizing now, or what's the,
right now I'm still doing events in South Florida. It was under War Party, but it'll probably be under a different name. I'm probably going to create a small team in case we get any residential cases and help out with the events. So we haven't that's probably not going to come out till next year, but right now everything is going to be under the Haunted Files, including our radio show that's live every Monday night.
Cool. Now, who does the team consist of right now? Is it you primarily running things, or who's part of the?
Right now I've been doing the events by myself. A couple events I had Amina help me. Actually, Franny helped me at one event too. But they're going to be on the team, and I'm going to bring in some new blood. I got some students. I have some psychology students that are interested in joining the team, and I think they'd be a good addition. And also I got another students that want to join the team as well, and they're more into electronics, and they actually build ghost hunting devices. So I thought that would be pretty cool.
So Eric,
cool.
Do you sense that he's gone?
The video is kicking out.
Okay. Do you sense that now that there's more of a reveal of the veil and people are realizing the spiritual war of good and evil, are you sensing this on locations? Is there more of a tendency to be connecting to a higher vibrational realm than lower vibrational realm?
Well, I think with me, it's a little bit different. So like when I got into this, I got into investigating the paranormal as being skeptical about it. Like I wasn't sure if that really exists, but I thought that, these are some amazing places and I like things about the unknown and I want to see if that's real. So when I got into it, I had a different mindset. I was more into like trying to use my devices and capture evidence. And I was like trying so hard and nothing was happening. So later on in my career, I started investigating with, all types of people, Reiki master, actually Wiccan, a minister. And, one thing I learned was the most important thing when you're on an investigation, your most important tool is going to be your brain, not your equipment. So what they taught me was to open myself up, like try to get a sense of the place, try to get, just do like a walkthrough, try to see what you feel, open up your mind. So the more I've been doing it, and I'm not saying I'm psychic or intuitive or anything, but it's just like I get a feeling. It's almost like a magnetic feeling, like I get pulled to a direction. I don't know if it's intuition, but something clicks and tells me this is the spot where we got to investigate tonight. I know something's going to happen. And then weird things start happening to where my name gets called out and stuff like that.
You have
And
to
it's
remember.
also, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Please.
So what? So
Is my video's gone again?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to be the white circle then for the rest of the night. So
Okay. No
sorry,
worries.
but you'll hear me. You'll hear me.
Yeah. So basically, to me, like now when I investigate, like I love filming. Because like I've always liked sharing what I captured, and like even when I investigate, we're always filming. And like that was my thing. Like if I captured something amazing, I like to share it. So my partner Mike and I were like, well, let's try to maybe we can film something together. And that's what you see is when you watch our episodes, it's not over dramatized. It's like what you see is what you get, and what we're showing you is what we're capturing, and you're the one to decide if you think it's real or not. And we're not faking anything. I mean, and you don't want to fake anything because if you get caught one time, there goes your credibility. And I don't. My credibility means everything to me. So that's what I like to do. So I like to share what I do, and now I'm at the point where like I'm just like I love filming, and now it's more about getting my feels. I want to get that connection to the other side, and like I don't know, crazy things have been happening. Like last week, I told you I got sick, and for no reason whatsoever. And I was on that second floor in that room, and when I left that room, I was fine. It was just really weird. I don't know.
So when you
I think that's one
started
thing.
out, you ask, Michael.
No.
You ask.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I think that's the one thing we really appreciate about you, Eric, is wanting to do this in such an authentic, evidential way, and that was one of the things, why we appreciate the way you're doing it and how you're doing it. Do you feel is there a lot of like fraudulent stuff in the paranormal field, or like what's your take on that? Is there? I'm just curious. Yeah, so you've seen a lot of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of that out there. There's a lot of over dramatization.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a period where the popular thing was, oh, everything's a demon. Not everything's a demon. I mean, not everything's bad in the paranormal. To me, I experience more good things than bad. It's not scary. It's what you're scared of is things that you don't understand. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to understand. I want to know what happens after you die, and I'll probably never know until I die. And I'll come back to haunt you guys if I go first.
No, it's interesting because I think there's definitely a small percentage of us that are trying to do this in an authentic, evidential way, even like with me and my mediumship, and
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, TV and Hollywood and trying to sensationalize things, has pulled in a lot of fraudulent information or fraudulent people not doing it
Yeah.
in an authentic way.
It's more about entertainment. Me, I'm more about education. I want people to know what it's really like,
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what we love about you too, is I don't think you would be doing this if you couldn't do it in an authentic, evidential way, and wanting to
No.
show people that, hey, there's something here beyond what we can see in the physical. There's something going on. And again, that's like what drew me into being a medium. If I couldn't
Right.
authentically connect to spirit, I would have never have done this, and I think, like you, it's like your soul was calling you to do this and to explore and to try to shed light on doing it the proper way.
Mary Amy became a ghost and came back.
Yeah.
I did. You know what it said? It came up. It said refresh page, and I thought, oh my God, we lost the whole thing. But here you guys are. You're still here.
I'm here
No,
in the white circle, but
it'll keep going if we're on.
Yeah, keep going. So, I wanted to, you said when you first
Oh,
started.
wait, real quick before I forget, and Mary Amy, you're going to be so proud of me.
What?
So last week, after I felt that illness after I left the Deering state, guess who my prayers went to?
Archangel Michael?
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Yeah. I always do that. Something like that happens. Ask for his protection to shine his light on me.
Yeah, they're right here
Send
with
everything back if they're with me. Send
Well,
them right back where they came from.
When I first met you, which was I believe it was 2020, around then, and I interviewed you a few times, and you were skeptical then. That was 5 years ago. I'm not saying full on skeptic, but you were edging towards trying to understand it, and maybe it was because you didn't, and you were trying to get, as Michael says, evidential.
And I'm like, who's this crazy lady with this picture of me?
What?
Remember, you had the picture. You had the picture of me. You were holding a picture.
I was?
Yeah, you had a picture.
Oh, did I? So
yeah.
Now it's interesting is I believe, and this happened to me, is that when you take away your doubt and you embrace it, the paranormal, the supernatural, more comes to you, and it's like you're accepting it. So you're seeing orbs, like you said. You're having these experiences, not always positive if you're not feeling well.
Yeah.
But it's real, and then more entities, more other worldly beings will come to you. That's what happened to me. It got stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what?
And
like
unfortunately,
I felt sick, but I didn't feel like it was a bad thing. Like I didn't think anything was trying to do harm on me. I thought maybe it was like, now that I think about it, I think maybe someone who passed away there was feeling this. I was feeling the same things they were feeling before they passed away. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like a
and
residual.
It's interesting. So as a medium, so as I connect to certain spirits, they'll show me how they passed, or I'll get certain sensations, or I'll get like a certain pain in an area of my body, or I'll start to lose my breath, knowing that, like I connected to someone who had drowned, and I started losing my breath and coughing, and I'm like, what? When I was
is that
doing
what
a
I'm
reading for the
building up
family.
now?
Yeah,
Is
so
that
you
like
could be
what's
picking
coming
up on
to
that
me?
energy, or spirits trying to imprint information on you, utilizing your body, and, almost as like a medical medium would do. So yeah, you could be experiencing that. But what I want to kind of backtrack on a little bit is you connecting to Archangel Michael. And the funny thing is, I think it gets to a point where you have so many different occurrences that there's no way to doubt that in this physical realm, there's a spiritual realm that's completely intertwined to it. And unfortunately, I think when we look at spirituality and religion, traditional religion has done a disservice throughout the eons of time by trying to control and harness, and it turned people off to it. But there's a reason why there's exorcists. You know, there's a reason why there's holy water, why crosses were so powerful, why the name of Jesus is so powerful. You know, there's a lineage, and there's a protection of light that's embodied in that, you know. And I think
Watch Monday
people
night. You'll hear
for a
it from
period,
Father Bob. He's done
yeah, and
exorcisms.
but the thing is, because of what's happened and because of how things were manipulated and controlled, I think people started to doubt it, or was like, oh, is that, is there truth to that, or what's behind that? But obviously, through human history, when we look at the power of those things and how they're connected to divinity, there's got to be something to it. And I know it, like, I have my own experiences and my own stories, but I think people are now kind of seeing, wow, there is something, and there is some power to that holy oil, to the power of that cross, to the power of scripture. And whether it's been misconstrued, manipulated, or used in erroneous ways, if we can get back to utilizing it in the proper way, I think it's the most powerful thing to fight evil.
You know what
No
I,
doubt
you
about
know
it.
what I, you know what I tell people when we do residential cases, because okay, I'm Christian, but some people aren't. I've done a case where
Yeah.
people
Yep.
were practice Hinduism, and reincarnation, and you got to have. I don't know the gist of it, but basically, you got to have like so many lives to get to the ultimate plateau or something like that.
Mhm.
So, like, when I do an investigation, I tell people that when you're looking to get, protection or strength, go to what you know. I mean, it doesn't have to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
Christian. I mean, in a way, like, if you think about it, like, if you really look at all the religions, they're almost similar, right? Um,
They are. Yeah, there's so many connecting lines. Yep, there's
yeah,
so
so
many
there's got
connecting
to be
lines
a
between it.
connection with all that, So I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, well, and they all have some type of divine connection. There's some type of divine connection,
yeah, and I've
and
seen it.
there's some type of divinely protected, symbolism. So, like, here, obviously, for us in Christianity, we have the saints, and we have the angels. But yeah, I
Hmm.
think all spiritual practices have some kind of
You could have the
divine
Dalai
protectors.
Lama,
Yeah, yeah. But it's interesting how a lot of it seems to go back, and even other, like, the interesting thing is, I've talked to other people, and I've dealt with different Buddhist monks, I've dealt with Tibetan monks, shamans, and the
Hmm.
weird thing is, even a lot of interconnected, like, protections, like spells, go back to interconnection to prayer. So me as a Christian, I may pray, where so, like a Wiccan may have a certain type of spell. But I think if we remove all the top layers, it goes back to, there's absolutely some divine light protecting us all. And we are we're in this physical realm, and there's a spiritual realm intertwined. And we are in the midst of light versus dark. And some people want to live in the
Yeah,
light, or everything is love and light, and not acknowledge the dark. Or some people, like you said before, not all paranormal is evil or dark or demons.
right.
And I think if we can find that, if we can find that neutral point, and we can look at all aspects of it, that's where we're going to be the most informed, and we're going to be able to do it in the most authentic way. We're not
Yeah,
being one-sided. We're looking at all possibilities. But yeah, and again, all religions have some type of protection, some type of divine connection that will help remove evil, or help protect us from evil. And yeah,
yeah,
I think it's important for people to study too. See, on my journey, I wanted to kind of see what it was all about, not just my Catholic upbringing and my Hungarian Romney gypsy roots. I started looking
yeah.
into
I
the
was I was
Tibetan
raised
monks. And
Episcopalian.
oh, yeah, yeah. but
Episcopalian for
and
people
what's
who don't know.
interesting is, yeah, it's interesting because we are seeing a lot of connection between it all, when we kind of uncover all the misinformation or the manipulation. you know, I have to say a lot of it is connected, you know, if not all of it's connected in
It
some
has
way,
to
shape, or
be.
form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when
So
people have like those near death experiences, I mean, a lot of them experience, you hear the same stories, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I even
Yeah.
witnessed it with almost with my own eyes, with my mom, like passing away, being on her deathbed in hospice, and like just hours of passing away, and like her, like, you know, her angels were there waiting for her to come take her. She was already talking to them, and it was
Yeah.
just
Absolutely.
like I didn't see the angels, but I witnessed her talking, and the pastor was there, and she was saying they're waiting for her, and then a few hours later, she passed away. And maybe that's what got me more into the paranormal, because I wanted answers. It's like I never had a connection, like, so like I was probably the closest with my mom. But when she passed away, like pretty much our family is small, so it's my dad and my sister and I, and they were like, you know, emotionally wrecked, like one person, like a person should be. But I don't know, with when it comes to like emotions like that, I tend to like I don't know, I'm not that
Well,
sensitive like that, you know. I learn how to control it, and like, but they like have been in moments where, like, you know, my sister was crying because she was missing my mom, and all of a sudden she felt like, so like my mom like comforting her. She felt her hand on her back, and she like told me that she experienced that. We were in another place, and we were like this old church in Ecuador, like colonial, Spanish colonial, and she's like, I'm feeling mom right now, and I'm like, I don't feel anything. And then my dad told me, and like, you know, still to this day, like I haven't sensed her. Um, but I don't know. Maybe felt like she needed to reach out to them to ease their pain, because maybe they had more pain than I did. Maybe, not to sound cold,
it,
but maybe I was more accepted of her passing away, because she, you know, she passed away of early onset Alzheimer's, and I think she was in a better place now. She wasn't suffering, even though I missed her so much, and I still do now, you know. But
yeah.
I'm trying to
But
find
you could
answers
see,
now.
yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah. No, they're absolutely around us. I mean, that's why I do this. That's why I've dedicated my life to it, because it's so important for people
mhm.
to understand. You know, the the death of the body does not it does not stop the soul from moving on. You know, energy is
No,
neither created nor destroyed. It just changes form.
Albert
And
Einstein.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And there's so much truth to that. And I think half
Yeah,
the
it is.
battle is just is kind of letting go of the
Ooh,
analytical mind that
I'm
wants to
feeling like
rationalize and
coldness on my arms right now. How weird is that? It's just really weird.
yeah. And I think everyone gets their signs in their own way and their own time frame, you know, and and all our energies are different. Even though that's your sister and your father, you know, your
Yeah,
energies, even though you're connected, they're still very different. And again, I think what you say makes a lot of sense, that maybe, you could look at this in a different way, and your grief was just different. And maybe your sister
yeah, it
needed, not that you
was
didn't need it, but yeah, your sister maybe needed it
needed
because
it
maybe
more.
her grief was taking her down a darker place that she wouldn't recover from if mom didn't
Hmm.
intercede and let her know that. And for you too. But one thing with you, Eric, is like you're very high, you're very intelligent, you're a high functioning person, so you're very analytical. And I think for
Yeah,
you, it part of the battle for you is going to be letting go of the left brain a little bit and allowing the right creative brain to kind of
that's
harness
what
it
I'm
and
working
not say,
on.
hey, that was a coincidence, and not try to
Yeah,
rationalize it in some way, shape, or form. That's part of the
nothing's.
battle too
My
sometimes.
saying is, there's nothing coincidental anymore.
Yeah.
That's how you miss things. Like, because that's how my brain works. And you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Like, if something happens to me, I get in skeptic mode, like how I should be.
Mhm.
I'm trying to find answers why this happened, and I don't know. It doesn't hit me till like maybe a day later, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" I mean, I saw a shadow figure, full blown shadow
Yeah.
figure with arms and legs during the day. Like I saw that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like almost like, so like everyone, like you hear a lot of stories about children, how they experience spirits, and they say at a younger age that your mind's more
Yeah, much
open.
more tuned in. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the
The
problem
world
is
hasn't the world hasn't clouded it. The world hasn't
yep,
kind of
yep.
gotten in the
And
way
the
of the
older
psychic
we get,
intuitive
and
abilities.
yep, and the
Yeah.
more we get, and the older we get, and the more we learn, and the more we get influenced, and now you got social media going crazy, and kids being influenced by things there. I don't know. I mean, you get
Yeah,
clouded, and your mind
yeah, you
that starts
absolutely do.
closing instead of being open, and you're getting at it, and you're possibly getting at a lower frequency. When you're at birth, you're at a higher frequency, and the older you get, if you don't work on that, you lose that.
And it's interesting
I
because
don't know
there's
if that
two
makes
schools of
sense.
thought behind that too. That one school of thought is, life just gets in the way and we start becoming more analytical and we learn and we grow
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
we lose that. But then there's another side that also says, have these processes and procedures been implemented into the human race to disconnect us from that and disconnect us from that connection because it could be so
Yeah.
powerful,
Yeah.
so you got to, so is there an active role by some manipulation of our society to try to remove that from us, which it could
Yeah.
be, definitely could be. But
It's
yeah, but
funny.
also, life gets in the way too.
My dad used to always tell me, he's like, Eric, you need to get more spiritual. Yeah, you don't have no spiritualism. But man, ever since I dove further and further into the paranormal, I got more spiritual than anything else, I think.
Well, that's because you're seeing the proof. You're seeing the proof that there's something
Yeah.
else there that's beyond this physical realm.
Yep.
And you needed the proof. And I think now that you're seeing that, you're seeing more of that. That's probably why more of your psychic abilities and your intuitive abilities are kind of tuning in and drawing you into a certain direction or guiding
Yeah.
you in a certain way.
Man, I hope I don't start
It's a
feeling
good
people's
thing.
pain now when I go in on investigation. Then I'll have to stay away
Yeah.
from the insane asylums and the prisons and all those places and the hospitals.
Nah, but
What
but
I
the funny thing is, the more you work with it, the more you start to harness and being able to harness it in and tune it. So it's almost like I explain it like a volume knob. You can turn it up and turn it down. You control it. It's just a matter of when you're learning it. That's when it could be a lot. It could be very overwhelming because you're not familiar with how to control and harness
Yeah.
what I do know is
it.
that what we all have in common is that we are receiving information. So if we let go of the fear, all it is that it's some kind of being, spirit, entity that's trying to communicate something to us. So they're trying to send us a message when they're
Yeah.
touching your arm, or
Hmm.
Michael will, hear information, or I will see information, or all of it is it's just really a communication to reach out to us. It's making contact with us. We have a couple of comments, by the way, guys. Suzanne said, such an interesting conversation. I connect with this on so many levels as my mom passed. And then Francesca said, I'm sorry for your mom's passing, Suzanne. May she rest in peace and always be with you.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's important for anyone out there to just understand the physical death does not end consciousness of the soul. And it's so important for us to know our loved ones are still around us. Our pets are still around us. They still want to
Yeah.
connect to us as much as we want to connect to them. And we could
Yeah.
still have that relationship with them.
Yeah.
Like Mary Amy said, part of it is kind of letting go and surrendering to it, and kind of understanding they're still here. But again, as humans, the rational mind wants to rationalize things. It wants to, say that was just a coincidence. And, we tend to be disconnected from the present moment where where that's the most opportune time for them to connect to us, and to get the signs,
Right.
to get
Right.
that connection. But it's a
Well,
process like anything else. And
yeah. I mean, like 20 years ago, like if I would have been talking to you guys, I would be thinking these people are crazy. And no, for real. But the thing
well,
is that, you know, the more I got into this and the more my mind opened and speaking to people who have gifts like you guys do, and experiencing some amazing things, it's causing my mind to open to where, like, because I think everyone's a psychic medium.
Yes.
There's at different levels.
Yeah, we all have the abilities.
And
Yeah.
you got to exercise that part of your brain, and that's what I've been doing. And it's like, now, like, if I would have gone back 20 years ago and listened to myself talking now, I would think I was crazy too. So, like this, like being on your show and then like listening to you guys, like I take all this in and I take it, how I do my investigations, how I live my life, and you know, like I don't discount anything anymore. Maybe that's what I'm
No,
trying to say.
but and the thing too, Eric, is it's good to be skeptical. Like we should all be skeptical, just like you're skeptical going into a
Mhm.
a haunting, going into a new facility and checking it out, seeing what's there. And like you said earlier, not everything's a demon, and being skeptical, and knowing that,
Yeah.
hey, that could be electrical interference. Are there ley lines? Is there,
Yeah.
is there something going on that we can rule out and do this in an authentic, evidential way? Well, it's the same thing with me, experiencing spirit from a young age. I started seeing dead people when I was, 3-4 years old. And it was something that just compounded, throughout my life. And I had to be skeptical and I had to prove to myself, hey, this is really going on. And like for me, I knew lots of people were going to say, you're crazy or you're demonic or this is evil. And that's why I had to do it in the way I did. And, it took me a long time to go, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to dedicate my life to being a medium. Now I can tell you, I utilized it for decades in my own life and psychic abilities to see that, okay, there's truly something here and you can utilize them to make things happen, to manifest, to create. I say, I had a company for 21 years, a very large company. And I made that company successful by tapping into my psychic energy, my psychic abilities, and hiring someone in front of me that I would be like, I know this person on paper looks fantastic. They're the best person here that I could possibly bring in to manage that location. And something would tell me, but you're going to have all kinds of problems. And I would psychically tune in, and whenever I listened to my psychic ability, it worked out, and it worked out tenfold. When I didn't,
Yeah.
oh man, it was, 3 steps back to take 2 steps forward to kind of bail myself out of that mess that I should have listened. We all have that gut instinct.
Yeah.
But for me, it was really putting it to the test and
It's
seeing
like
what would work. And
it's like your gut feeling on steroids.
yeah. And we all have that. And that's the basis of it. The intuition is the basis of our psychic abilities.
Exactly.
We build on those psychic abilities, and then we, learn to channel them into things like mediumship, remote viewing, all these other aspects of it. And it could be something so powerful when it's utilized in the right
Hey,
way and for
Josh,
good.
my buddy. By the way, I'm streaming your show on my Facebook page as well.
Oh,
So
thank
you
you.
have my
Awesome.
viewers.
And if anyone's wondering why there's just a white circle, but they're hearing this voice,
Michael's a
the voice
ghost.
is the white circle. Unfortunately, my video cut out. I'll try to get back on in a minute or two, so I can get some video again. But no, I think it's important for everyone to understand, and we hear this a lot, but we are a spiritual being having a human existence, and that's that's the truth of it. And there's so much more than meets this physical realm. We are intertwined with a spiritual realm around us, and in that spiritual realm, there's multiple dimensions.
Yeah.
Lower vibrating dimensions, higher vibrating dimensions, and everything in between.
And
and
the
when we could
evidence,
start to tune in,
the best evidence
yeah,
I get is my personal evidence, things I can't show to people. It's like, personal things that happen.
absolutely,
And that's what I look for now,
absolutely,
and I get more and more of it.
yeah.
So
And that's why you're going to do some really special stuff in the paranormal industry, because you're trying to do this in such an authentic, evidential way. And I hope people like us can be the groundbreakers, and we could set the standard. So people that follow will try to, bring in more evidence and do it in a more authentic way, and I think if we can do that, then I think we'll shed light on there's something here. We're not crazy. And the more people see this being done in an authentic, evidential way, I think the more it could be trusted and the more people will open and tune into it, and that's, I think that's one of the reasons why I'm doing it. It's so important for us to understand, this is
the more you trust
truly
your
something.
intuition, the more you trust your intuition and you don't listen to what your brain's telling you, the more through line you have with your life, your mind, body, spirit, which will take you on your path. If you trust your gut, like you were saying, and you have hunches and it's a physical sensation, and maybe it's going to come through your clairsenses. If you'll become more and more sensitive, and you'll realize and have warning signs of good and bad altercations and situations and people, a direction you go in your life, the more you trust your intuition, because we all have that. It's like we are a human lie detector test.
Yeah. Well, I did have,
and not everyone wants to be a psychic or a medium, or not everyone wants to utilize this in the way we're utilizing it, but anyone that's going to be in a relationship, anyone that's going to buy a car, anyone that may be an entrepreneur and wants to start a business, you can tap into your psychic energy for any of those. And if you're not tapping into your psychic energy, I think you're doing yourself a big disservice, because immediately you're going to know, hey, this relationship is for me, or maybe it isn't. Oh, wow, maybe this car salesman is being manipulative and maybe I need to deal with somebody else. I mean, any type of interaction, human interaction, if you're tapping into your psychic awareness, it's giving you an added advantage for the truth and for your highest and best. So that's why I tell people, even if you don't want to be a medium, a psychic, a paranormal investigator, utilize this for your own, for your own highest and best, whatever you're dealing with, whatever negotiating you're dealing with, whatever relationships and stuff you're navigating.
And if I could use it in my sales, my performance would increase.
Yeah, man, you tune in. You're going to know, hey, I could spend 3 hours with this person and they're still not going to give me a yes, but I could spend 5 minutes with this person and it is, and I think you got it. You definitely have that intuitive psychic ability. You just have to start trusting it a little more.
Yeah.
You're on your way.
I'm working on it.
So Eric, we've gone off on a tangent a little bit here and there. So let's reel this back in a little bit. Can you share with our listeners, if they want to follow along with any of your paranormal adventures or anything you're doing, can you share all your contact information, your websites, your channels? Can you give all that information right now? We'll also be posting all those links on our social media, but if you could share that for everyone, that'd be great.
By the way, I'm looking at the chat. Just stay far away from Taco Bell. That'll cause a lot of damage for you. Worse than chasing ghosts.
That.
I don't know what they're talking about. But what were we talking about? Oh yeah, what I have coming up. Okay, so first of all, if you love watching like shows on the paranormal, cryptids, spiritualism, and you're tired of seeing the same old stuff over and over and seeing your Zach Bagans on the Travel Channel and Discovery Plus and seeing all the reruns, go subscribe to PARAFlixx. It's probably like a third of the price of Discovery Plus, and there's amazing shows on there. And we have a little show on there. Actually, it's the most viewed show now on PARAFlixx, called the Haunted Files. We got seasons 1 through 3 that's out. Big shout out to Franny. She's in a few of them. And seasons 4, we're working hard on it, and it's going to be coming out in January. So if you do subscribe to PARAFlixx, I have a discount code for everybody. If you put in the Haunted Files 25, you'll get 25% off your annual membership.
It's technology.
And then there's another way to get a discount. You can get a major discount, because we got our own coffee now called Dark Isle Brew, the Haunted Files. And if you go to Haunted Happy Hour, they're on Facebook, Instagram, and go to their link. If you buy one of our coffees, on the back of it is a code, and you get 3 months free subscription of PARAFlixx. And the coffee's amazing. I tasted it myself. I had to try like 20 different flavors. So check that out. And then also, I'm super excited. We're relaunching our new, not new, but new name for our radio show this coming Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can watch it on the Haunted Files YouTube channel, or the Haunted Files Facebook page, or on the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network on iHeartRadio, Spotify. And our first guest for our relaunch for the Haunted Files Unplugged radio show will be Father Bob Bailey, and he's part of Nesper. He's done a few exorcisms. He's part of the Devils on the Run tour with Annabelle. He makes sure everyone's protected. So we're going to have him on. So it should be an amazing show. Looking forward to it. Wow. And if you can follow me on Facebook, Eric Vanderlaan, Instagram, Ghosthunter, South Florida, and also the Haunted Files on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube.
Well, Eric, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Unfortunately, my video hasn't been that great, but when we have you back on, I'll have the video. I'll have my video worked out.
Yeah, if you want me on if you want me to be here as a regular, let me know. I'm more than happy to come back on.
We love
because you got some good stories, and we're gonna definitely be following up, so you can fill us in on what's going on in the paranormal world. Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe I'll have another crazy experience to tell you.
I'm sure you will. You constantly have it. So you just I will put it in the description. So I put the link to your the Haunted Files, and then did you have a website or something else?
You mean the YouTube?
Yes, the YouTube.
You can put the YouTube channel link. I can send it to you, and I can send you the PARAFlixx link.
Okay, great, fantastic.
Awesome.
Well, I'm so glad you joined us. Thank you so much. Let's unmute. And Michael, can you hear Michael? We're just
I can hear. Yes. We're gonna have to put a little cartoon face in that white circle there. So if this happens again, at least you'll have a little cartoon face of me. Eric, it's been a pleasure. I apologize for the lack of video on my end, but it was still a great conversation.
Yeah.
And I look forward to talking with you again. And are you traveling into New Jersey at all? I know your job was based out of New Jersey, but you're doing everything remotely?
Yeah, I'm doing everything remotely now. I'm actually going to be at the White Hill Mansion, Paracon. It's when is it? The beginning of May. That first Saturday in May. I forget what date that is. That's going to be in Fieldsboro, New Jersey.
Oh.
It's right near Philly.
I'll tell you what, if you can, why don't you email us that date and that information, and maybe we'll make a trip up there and we'll hang out a little bit.
Oh my God, White Hill Mansion is one of the most haunted locations I've ever investigated.
Oh, great!
Incredible. It dates back to the Revolutionary War. It's got a lot of dark history there.
Interesting. All right, well, if you want a medium to come sit in and see what energy I pick up, I'll put it out there.
Oh my God.
Mary Amy, they locked me up in the meat locker in the basement.
No.
Yeah.
This is a real thing? This really happened?
Oh yeah, I do crazy stuff like that.
No, they locked you in there and you stayed overnight?
Well, we had the place. We probably stayed there till like 4 a.m. But you know who April Bousset is? The New Jersey psychic housewife?
Yes.
She's been on the Holzer Files. She filmed the episode there with us. And so the mob used to run the place during Prohibition.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some murders that happened there in the basement. And there's a tunnel that it sits on the Delaware River. So there's a tunnel that goes out there. So they would bring in the alcohol through the tunnel, and the people they knocked off out the tunnel to the river.
Oh my goodness.
And then plus you had all the death that happened during the Revolutionary War when the British took it over as a field hospital.
That's
pretty wild. So did she pick up on any crazy stuff when she went in there or what?
Oh yeah, she was able to pick up on, I can't remember the names, but the name of the original owner.
Oh, nice.
And there were 3 owners with the same name. She knew that it was the same name. 3 people with the same name, and I forgot. I think it was like, I can't remember the name, but that's kind of odd that she picked that up. That was really cool. And then we had her do a sensory deprivation experiment, and we just picked up on some wild things. It was pretty wild. Equipment was going off. Things were moving in the basement. So hearing noises like blatant footsteps. I'm in the first floor and I hear footsteps upstairs, blatant footsteps walking down the hallway. Like it was just wild. The windows were rattling. Huh?
Oh wow. How big of a crew did you have on that one?
Well, actually Franny was there. My partner Mike and April, so it was just the 4 of us. And then April had to leave.
Wow, okay.
But I think we ended up leaving there like at 4 because she didn't get a chance to investigate the meat locker and where the tunnel was in the basement. Franny saw a shadow figure like behind us in the basement moving. Actually, she saw it there twice. 2 times she was there.
That's pretty wild. I don't know. What do you say, Marianne? Are you? We might have to meet Eric up there, huh?
Yeah, I know. I'll come. I'll stand outside.
We could do a live two psychics podcast from the front porch.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You can walk in and I'll just have like one of those balls that the priests use to burn the frankincense. And I'll just swing that around you while you're walking inside.
Cleanse the space.
St. Augustine, holy water. St. Augustine.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
On my chest.
That's funny. All right, you're gonna have to email us the info on that.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll send you the link.
I'll totally come just to meet you in person as well.
Oh, awesome! That's nice of you.
Okay, yeah.
You guys.
Sounds like fun. We'll bring our whole crew with us.
All right, cool. You know what? Maybe
live podcast.
You know what? I know the guy who runs it, Dave Giuliano. Do you guys want to have he's gonna have vendors tables. You guys want to rent a vendor table? I can ask him.
Yeah, let us know what it is. What's the date?
Let me look at my calendar. May 2nd.
Oh, okay.
May 2nd.
I thought you were going to say December.
No, May 2nd. That's my next event.
Nice.
All right, sounds good.
We'll have to check that out. Yeah, maybe we can come down and hang.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay, we'll make a plan of it.
So anyone out there, even though you can't see me, you can hear me, but we are so thankful for our guest, Eric Vanderlaan from the Haunted Files.
Haunted Files.
And we'll have all his information if you want to check out what he's doing. We'll have his information posted along with any of the Two Psychics podcast. And Eric, we can't wait to talk to you again. And hey, maybe we'll see you on May 2nd.
Awesome.
Thank you everyone for watching and writing comments. Suzanne, Fran, always Kevin, Francesca, Joshua. I appreciate everyone who wrote comments here tonight. Jessica, thanks for joining us. And thank you, Eric. And
thank you.
And we'll see you soon.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right. Take care, Eric. Pleasure having you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so everyone coming up next week. And so there's a lot of feedback, Mike. So I'm just going to mute you
Oh,
for
let
a
me
second.
mute.
Okay, so everyone, next week we have Dr. Michelle Adams, and she has her own Quantum Healing Wellness Center in Bedford Hills. That's November 13th. The following week we have Jack Roth, author and filmmaker, and he's written some books about UFO experiences. That's November 20th. December 4th, we have Kelly Wagner of Edge Magazine, a psychic medium. If you would like to receive a psychic reading, a mediumship reading from Michael Edley, you can find him on eyeofthespirits.com. You can reach me, Mary Amy Official. We do live events. And our YouTube channel is Two Psychics Podcast. And we also have a Facebook page, Two Psychics Podcast. So everyone out there, I hope you join us next week. Michael, do you have anything to say?
Next week, I will have video.
Oh, wait, he's muted. You
Oh.
there?
Next week, you'll be able to see me and hear me.
Okay.
I promise.
Everyone, let us know, comment. I hope you watch us again next week on Facebook or YouTube. And everyone have a great week. And maybe ask angels to come meet with you, or have a special dream before you go to sleep. Ask yourself, show me something in my dreams. Maybe connect to someone who's already passed. And thank you, Suzanne. We can't wait to see you next week. Everyone be well. Bye.